Hey everybody, it's your boy Stutter God, and I'm back with another video. U.S. police trainers with far-right ties are teaching hundreds of cops. Now, we both know, or at least everyone who's watching this knows that, or if they don't, let me tell you now that white supremacy likes to take both sides of an argument. This is something I learned a while back and something I took to heart of. So we can't sit here and say that the left is or so we can't sit here and say that the left is not as bad as the right, or the right is not as bad as the left. They're both terrible when it comes to black people's interests. Both terrible. However, in my personal opinion, I feel like the people on the right are the most dangerous. Just because, you have the Proud Boys and individuals like that on the right who is openly displaying racism on camera for the world to see. Then you have your skinheads and white supremacists. So in my opinion, that's where we really should be more concerned about. But doesn't mean we should let our guard down when it comes to the left. Again, they're just as bad, just not on the same level. But with this in mind, this right here should be worrying. There's no doubt in my mind that what I'm about to show y'all is something that might even explain what's going on with the race soldiers and their supposed training, where they're supposed to help everyone out, but instead they're just helping white people and other races out and leaving us to either get shot, get tased, get maced, get arrested, or just mistreated in general in some type of way. What I'm trying to say is I feel like this might be one of the core values of why it happens. Like, in my opinion. But again, as I said before, they were trained to do this, and this right here might be their training. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. And this makes sense with what I've been saying for a long ass time. Because they really do this. This how people on the right really feel. Well, the left too, but most of all the right. The right doesn't give two fucks. See, they're the most domestic in terms of terrorism. They happen way more often than the media likes to portray. But that's just me. Anyways, though, let me get started before I lose track and start talking nonsense as I usually do. Anyways, police trainer Richard Whitehead, Richard Whitehead. That alone is kind of ironic, don't you think? Richard Whitehead. Oh my fucking god. Whoever named him, whether it be the father or the mother, they saw his future. Oh yeah. They saw it clearly, and they wanted to label him, they wanted to give him the best accurate label they could, and it's what they came up with. Alright. Police trainer Richard Whitehead carries a gun as he teaches a class in Killeen, Texas in June. He's one of 5 instructors identified by Reuters who have expressed support for far-right extremists. One police instructor who has taught 560 officers in recent years has joined one extremist group and supported other far-right movements. Others have echoed QAnon and other French conspiracy theories on social media, a Reuters examination found. The story contains offensive language. On social media, Richard Whitehead is a warrior for the American right. He has praised extremist groups. He has called for public executions of government officials. He sees as disloyal to former President Trump in a post in 2020. He urged sorry guys. He urged law enforcement officers to disobey. To disobey. Oh my God, I can't read today. To disobey COVID-19 public health orders from tyrannical governors, adding, "We are on the brink of a civil war." Whitehead also has a job. He trains police officers around the United States. The Idaho-based law enforcement consultant has taught at least 560 police officers and other public safety workers in 85 sessions in 12 states over the past 4 years, according to a Reuters analyst of public records from the department that hired him. A Washington State Training Commission in 2015 temporarily banned Whitehead from advertising courses on its website because of instructional material that referred to a turban-wearing police officer as a towel head and contained cartoons of women in bikinis, according to emails from the commission to Whitehead that were reviewed by Reuters or whatever. Other marketing literature touted Whitehead detection technique that, among other things, teaches officers not to trust sexual assault claimants if they use the word "we" in referring themselves and their assailant. The commission was responding to a student complaint citing offensive slurs and blatant misogyny. Whitehead said in an interview that the commission had given too much credence to one student's opinion and caused him to lose business. Since then, he had expanded the section of his course that caused the controversy, adding more pot-stirring material, including a side that ridicules transgender people. Suspect is a transgender food assigned male at birth, wearing a non-gender specific clothing, born Canadian but identified as a mountain panda. Hey fucking god, bro. The fuck is going on? Alright. Okay, okay, well, okay, we'll try it again. Suspect is a gender fluid assigned male at birth, wearing a non-gender specific clothing, born born Caucasian. I said Canadian. Born Caucasian, but identifies as a mountain panda, Whitehead said. Such bars are intended to push back against pressure on law enforcement to to espouse left-wing views on gender or race. Law enforcement trainer Whitehead, Law enforcement trainer Richard Whitehead has publicly espoused far-right extremist views in her classroom, has drawn complaints of using offensive language and content targeting women, Muslim, and transgender people. Whitehead is a part of a trend in pushing a radical right political agenda to American police forces. He's one of 5 police trainers identified by Reuters whose political commentary on social media has echoed extremist opinion of, or who has public ties to far-right figures. They work for one or more of 35 training firms that have advertised at least 10 police or public safety training sessions in 2021, according to a research analyst of schedule data from policetraining.net, the main site where local department connect with trainers. The news organization also reviewed materials describing classes by specific training companies. The five trainers who have aired view including the belief in a voting rigging conspiracy to unseat Trump in 2020 election. One trainer attended Trump January 6, 2021 rally at the U.S. Capitol that evolved into a riot injuring more than 100 police officers. Two of the trainers have falsely asserted that prominent Democrats, including President Joe Biden, are pedophiles, a core tenet of QAnon conspiracy theories. Four has endorsed or posted records of their past interactions with far-right extremist figures, including prominent Constitutional Serif leader David Clark Jr. and Pod Board leader Joe Biggs, who is being prosecuted for his involvement in Capitol riots. Whitehead adheres to the Constitutional Serif philosophy, which holds that county sheriffs should ignore any law that they find unconstitutional. For some reason, can't pronounce that. The growing movement claims sheriffs are the supreme law enforcement authority in their jurisdictions, more powerful even the U.S. president. More powerful even the U.S. president. Wow. A spokesperson for the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association disputed the characterization of its views as extreme and said it was neither right nor left-wing. In interviews, Whitehead and other foreign trainers also said their views are neither extreme nor far-right. Some said posts that appeared to urge overthrow of the U.S. government were intended as humorous or figurative. They said they keep their policies separate from their training, which they said focused on officer safety. Whitehead was listed in the database of members of the Oath Keepers, a far-right anti-government group that was leaked in September by the non-profit Disputed Denial of Secrets, which says it aims to publish data in public interest. The members list includes some 15 other people who identified themselves as law enforcement trainers and a dozen more who said they were retired officers or trainers or firearms instructors. According to a research review of the data, the anti-governmentalist group focuses on recruiting police and military personnel, according to some experts who track extremism and claims to have thousands of members. Oath Keepers founder Stewart Rhodes was charged with sedition, the conspiracy for his role in January 6 Capitol riots. He has pleaded not guilty. Kelly Sorelli, an attorney for the Oath Keepers, who has called herself the group acting president during Rhodes' pre-trial detention, did not respond to a request for comment on the law enforcement officers listed in the database. Whitehead told researchers he was an Oath Keeper for about a year in 2016 and 2017 and continued to support its ideology of defending the Constitution. He said he filmed a promotional video at an event of far-right militia, the Real 3%ers, when Whitehead ran for sheriff of Conecuh County, Idaho in 2020. He praised the 3%ers who trained for armed resistance of what they called tyrannical U.S. government as being all about community, also defending the Constitution. Private trainers work in an unregulated industry that largely has evaded the heightened scrutiny of U.S. policing in recent years. In the wake of high-profile killings of civilian trainers like those identified by Reuters, a half a dozen police training specialists say highlight a lack of standards and oversight that allows instructors that can often exaggerate the threats that officers face, making them more likely to respond with excessive force in stressful situations. U.S. law enforcement officers receive far less in, in, intentional training at police academies than their counterparts in compared countries, said Arlene Safai, a Georgia University adjunct law prosecutor and policing specialist that opens excuse me that opens immense comical opportunities for private trainers to fill the void with ongoing training of active duty, often in a politicized manner that no more bias policing against black people in other communities, he said. Suspect is the no, we already said that. Okay. Private trainers typically advertise for courses to police and service departments who often pay for officers to take them, but individuals can also seek out and pay for courses on their own to satisfy government or department requirements for ongoing training. The courses vary widely in content and in price, from hundreds to thousands of dollars per attendee. State-based oversight institutions, often called peace officers, standard and training agencies, set requirements for police training, such as the types of classes and medium teaching hours that officers must complete. But the institutions have little power in most states to influence course content or set standard for private police trainers, in part due to budget constraints, said Randy Shrewsbury, a former police officer. He saw unregulated police training as such a problem that in 2017 he funded the California Bias Institute for Criminal Justice Training Reform. Some officers will subscribe to the extremist ideology of their trainers, Shrewsbury said, because they perceive instructors as having authority and credibility. Bad training is installing bad behavior, he added. Whitehead disputed the assertion that police trainers need more oversight. Nothing that many states review course material that seems regulated to me, he said. Yeah, I'm gonna skip the conspiracies to Proud Boy leader. I think this is better than talking about the conspiracies because I'm done with that. The lack of regulation gives individual trainers with regulation gives individual trainers wide latitude to teach American police officers whatever they see fit. For trainer Tim Kennedy, that means training in martial arts, sharpshooting, and strength building. In 2020, Kennedy posted on Instagram a video of himself taking out trash in combat gear, captioned, "When you want to boogaloo but you still have a bunch of honey-dos to do?" Referencing to household chores that was apparent referencing to the anti-government boogaloo movement, whose adherents anticipate and sometimes call for or train for a revolution, toppling the federal government or a second U.S. Civil War. 2 months later, Kennedy posted a photo of himself wearing a Hawaiian shirt and aiming a rifle. Hawaiian shirts are a trademark of the Boogaloo movement. The picture was captioned, "If you choose to be an asshole, I pick out a special shirt for the occasion." Kennedy said in an interview that he does not support the Boogaloo movement. He said he loves Hawaiian shirts in their own lane before they became a big symbol. That nigga lying. That nigga lying. That's all cap. All cap. Nope. All cap. All cap. Straight damn lie. Kennedy's Twitter account shows that he has been an associate of Joe Biggs, a leading organizer of the right-wing Proud Boy group who is being prosecuted for his role in the U.S. Capitol riots. Their online interactions were as recent as May 2018, several months before Biggs' Twitter account was suspended. In Twitter posts, Kennedy discussed going on motorcycle rides with Biggs, named Biggs as his inferior secretary in an imaginary presidential cabinet, and posted screenshots of their text message conversation about an anticipated rally by Antifa, the loose organizing left-wing anti-fascist movement. President Joe Biden is a puppet and profile. Prosecutors decry racial bias in policing are pawns in a scheme to destroy this nation. Going down to cause havoc, wrote Biggs. Same. Sounds like a date. Kennedy replied, gay! These niggas gay! These niggas are gay! This is some gay shit right here. Yep, gay. I'm just saying. This sounds gay to me. Oh, I mean, I guess these niggas were real close one day. How you gonna be a far right and basically have problem with gay people, but you act like this. You act like this, but again you have a problem with people being gay. It's something you should hate, but you joke on like this. So I mean, you know what? Never mind. I get it's a joke, but come on now, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You are two fully grown men. You should not be talking like this. Fuck wrong with you? Anyways, Biggs is currently denied pending trial. He was charged for his role in the Capitol riots with 6 counts, including obstruction of an official proceeding, obstruction of law enforcement, destruction of government property, and conspiracy reached through a lawyer. Biggs declined to comment. Kennedy told readers he believed Biggs had taken a radical turn and said he had not had many recent contacts with him. He denied ever being friends with Biggs. I'm pretty sure Antifa. I'm pretty anti-Antifa, and I'm pretty anti-far-right radical, Kennedy said. I like the middle where logic and irrational people exist. Kennedy said he held about 200 training sessions across the United States in 2021. He offers individual officers a discount on his courses, which cost between $400 and $900 per student, because most police agencies refuse to pay for Kennedy's training out of what he describes as political reasons and ignorance. Kennedy said his courses focuses on cultural understanding, de-escalation techniques, as well as physical training. One teaching method he cited, however, was chart different mental states, each assigned each its own color, describing level of preparedness or lack of it to respond to threatening situations. This chart was developed by former U.S. Marine Corporal Jeff Cooper, now deceased, as a means of setting one's mind into the proper condition when exercising lethal violence. According to 2004 Rain commentary, attributed damn it, said Cooper. Fuck it. Anyways, Kennedy features a fighting practice in an instructional video showing him and students wrestling and trying to tackle one another. He describes the practice as a form of stress inculcation that aims to improve officers' performance under pressure. The point is that to induce stress onto a person that and then we make them try to solve a problem, such as interviewing in a stimulated mugging. he said. Such training is needed, Kennedy said, because officers are at a unprecedented risk of death and assault. That's a damn lie. Lie. That is not true whatsoever. Not true. Not true. That's a myth. Stop fucking lying. The only thing that officers would have risk for in terms of death was COVID. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest now. Let's be honest. If you are a police officer, you have the least dangerous job in America. That's just the truth. You have the least dangerous job compared to a person who works in horticulture, or even a warehouse worker. No, excuse me, a construction worker. They die more than you do in terms of being a police officer. The death rate is pretty damn low, all things considered. But people like to push this narrative that police have the most dangerous job in America, this and that and this. When the truth is, the only reason they're saying that is to feel special. They want to be warriors. They want to be the heroes. They want all the attention, everything, bro. They want it all. The attention, the money, the favoritism, all that. When in reality, the most dangerous job in America right now is being a delivery driver. That's the most dangerous job in America. One of the most, if not the most dangerous job in America, is delivering fucking items to someone's house. That's it. Items, my nigga. Items. Make it make sense. Where was I at? 1 second. Okay. Police reform measures taken in the wake of 2020 racial justice protests across the United States have left them even less protected, he said. Long-term data on police officers' deaths shows a different trend. Officer deaths caused by felonies last year increased to 73 compared to an average of 49 in the previous 4 years. But 2021 was an anomaly as crime surged amid coronavirus pandemic and related economic turmoil. Over the long-term police death per 100,000 officers from both felonies, yes, from both felonies and accidents, plunged from 81 to 20 between 1970 and 2016, a decline of 75%, according to a 2019 analyst of Historical Federal Bureau of Investigations (FBI) data in the journey of criminal and public policy. Deaths from crime fell even faster than accidental deaths over the period. So let me read that again. That's real important. Let me read that again. Over the long-term, police death per 100,000 officers from both felonies and accidents plunged from 81 to 20 between 1970 and 2016, a decline of 75%, according to a 2019 analyst of Historical Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI, data in the Journal of Criminology and Public Policy. Deaths from crime fell even faster than accidental deaths over the period. The number of line of duty deaths have declined dramatically over the last 5 decades. The study concluded the war on cops, this is not supported by any evidence. Yup, they said it. They even said it themselves. There is no such thing as a war on cops. It is a lie. It doesn't exist. What war? What war? What are you talking about? There's no war. There's no war. I mean, the way you be treating the Black Nation, I'm surprised there is none. But no, there's not. There's no war happening in the streets. There never was. Of course, you have shootings here and there, but that's not a war. That's not a war. That's not a war. Ask any veteran, any war veteran, they'll tell you what a war is. They themselves will tell you what a war is. And that, right now, what's happening here is not a war. Kennedy disputed the FBI data and said he would send figures counteracting it. Oh, Nick, I'm having just trouble pronouncing what. Everyone, I apologize. I'm off today. This is Nicholas. Anyways, he never did. So this nigga said he was gonna send evidence proving that everybody is wrong. He never did. He never did that. Never. Oh wait, he says counteracting it. Yeah, I already said that. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Anyways, he never sent the evidence. So what war? What death? What danger? Please ask him again. Send him an email. Ask for an update. What war? What evidence? What are the figures? What are the facts? Let us know. Please, Kennedy, let us know, you bigot. Anyways, the FBI declined to comment on the study of officer deaths and police trainers identified by Reuters. In the light of such data showing declining dangers to officers, many trade agencies long ago abandoned training that emphasized putting officers through simulations of threatening situations, said Gil Cor, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, who led the police department of Seattle and Buffalo, New York, before serving as commissioner of the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol from 2014 until 2017. That's the worst kind of training to give officers today to make them feel more vulnerable. This nigga said, you want people to have an awareness of violent threats, but you don't want them to be so hypersensitive that it impacts anything they do. The mindset that trainers impact, such as a feeling of constant vulnerability, can be more influential than the technology they share, said Seth Stoughton, a law professor at the University of South Carolina and former police officer with expertise in law enforcement training. Sutton said studies show that training with over sorry. Studies show with Sutton said studies show that training with oversimplifies and overphases life-threatening situations can impact a warrior mentality, convincing the officers that they face constant deadly threats. In a personal video that Kennedy released in 2020, Chris Jackson, an officer who worked for a California police agency operated by a Native American tribe, said Kennedy course had opened his eyes to the world and changed the way he would respond to threats. You never want to be a victim of anything, he said in the video. Not surprising. Yeah, it's surprising. But we all know what this did. To seem like the least racist or idiotic person in the world, he has someone, aka a Native American, talk about how good his training is, as a way to show that what he's doing is completely okay. Oldest trick in the book. Not gonna work today. Jackson told readers in an interview that the training his agencies paid for made him more aware of potential threats and prepared to respond with less hesitation. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to eliminate the threat, he said. Asked whether Kennedy's social media posts referring to the Boogaloo movement and his association with Joe Biggs affected his perceptions of training, Jackson said it did not. What he does on his own time is his own deal, he said. I'm gonna end it here. Okay. Whew. So what did we learn today? What we always knew. Like this is nothing new. I told y'all that police were trained to do this that they do now, and that was nothing but the truth. This right here just went into more detail of how that happens. But with something like this in mind, you gotta realize that when something like this happening and still happening to this day, you gotta keep in mind that every cop you see on the street might be trained with one of these niggas. And so if you do something even as simple as fucking moving your finger, you might get shot. You might get shot. Probably more than once. Probably more than once. Why? Because the officer was trained to do that. They were taught and trained to do shit like that out of necessity. Because that's the way it is. That's the way it always been. Trying to make themselves feel more superior than they already are. Trying to still become the dominant race, even though that's declining as we speak. But hey, it is what it is. This is about your story guide. I apologize for the audacious reading on my part. But with that said, I'll see y'all in my next video. Black Power. Peace.